All right, Stanley Parable. We'll put English subtitles on because why not? Have I played the Stanley Parable before? No. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. Please enter the current time. Whoops. Stop, stop, stop. Oh, no, of course, now it's fucking 10 o'clock. Oh my god. Retro Bits, thanks for the follow. Begin the game. The end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
What the heck? That sounds miserable.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh my god, you're fast. Okay. Wow, the turning speed is really slow.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Blanco.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh shit. Blanco, how's stream? Were you doing Mario Kart, right? Can I read this? Nope. What's up, Apple Singer? What's up, Isaiah? 420, fucking lit, dude. Oh, actually, I should have smoked again. Whoops. Apple Singer, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Okay, we got a camera sensitivity.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We gotta go in the right one, right, guys? You have an episode to watch. Can't you just do it later? What are they gonna do? They're not gonna know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Yes, I did.
Yes, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You gotta explore.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, 1,000. Penalty for jumping off the lift, 5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Where are we
I'm
going?
not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting.
No, I'm going the right way.
Forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Is this secretly the right way?
Stanley, your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Who this is? Tina? Oh, hello.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her.
She's calling me.
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
I'm not gonna pick up the phone. Screw that bitch. Bros before hoes. It'll stop ringing eventually, right? No? He's not gonna get nothing? I don't get any reward for waiting here? So now we're like sunken cost fallacy level. We've already waited this long. What if it's just we just need to wait longer? Surely there's something if we just wait long enough, right, guys? There's gotta be... Alright. Yes, alright. I don't even know how to pick up the phone. Okay, it's that button. Pressing every button.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Hello.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
She's kind of hot. What's up, lady? She's
This
naked.
is a very sad
Oh
story
my
about
god.
the death of a man named Stanley.
Good morning, employee 427. Press X on my controller. This one?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
God damn.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
No, I'm not going to press X. You just made fun of me for it. They literally just made fun of me for pressing these... You know what? Fine.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he
Why am I
returned
just
to work
standing here?
was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I guess we're watching TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers,
Am I supposed to be
his
in
boss,
here?
everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Press X to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Oh, shit.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press Y to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer.
Oh, hey, look,
What
stuff.
could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press B to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. I'll do it. He doesn't think I can do it. Bitch, I didn't do it. No, it's gonna make me do it. Oh my god.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see
Hey, we're
what
back
I
in our
see?
room.
How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
What does that say?
I'm compelled to.
I hate Mondays.
Perhaps
Garfield?
maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried
Garfield,
again.
you stupid
Stanley
kid.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What the heck? No more Gungeon. No, we're playing this. And then we're playing Mario RPG. And then we're playing Hades.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. So, now we're going to follow his instructions.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either.
Tips for not getting
Feeling a
fired.
wave of
Talk less.
disbelief,
Do
Stanley
unbelievably
decided to go
amazing
up to
work
his
all the
boss's
day,
office,
all the time, every
hoping
day.
he might find an answer
Aw.
there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything's okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. This will ensure a calm and productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You, most of all. Have I played Bug Snacks? No. Number of slides on the slide. Charts and slides. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rates of increase in graphs per slide. Please, no more charts, I'm begging. The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Appreciation Minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out in triplicate and return to your Boss Appreciation Specialist. solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee, like yourself, but more inclined towards conflict, unless you're the kind of person who oh man. What are your dreams for the future? Success, transcend, plant life, football, a boat, hope, lunge. Alright, that's it. What's this? To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Sift global market parade. Monetize free to play. Nice.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
do
office.
we gotta do everything? No, it's just gonna... No, we gotta do it. What's this? I want to pick that up. How do I... That's clearly something that I can pick up. Hello? Really? No? Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Interesting.
Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Oh.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun.
Space
and Stanley
game?
marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been.
So this is like the punishment for going in the wrong door.
The voice speak these words was quite a
It's just
shock
like
to
the longest story ever, going through the
Stanley.
same 3
He was
rooms.
certain beyond a doubt that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
They keep putting beginning quotes,
I am
but never ending quotes.
okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh. This is the game.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal.
I can't move.
I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned around.
Bubs. All right, let's try this again.
All of his co-workers were gone.
We gotta get every ending.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It is? This whole day? See, I recorded and it was too. And I thought that it was just... Oh, it was just Premiere. Can you just refresh?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This is a big office. This is huge.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
This is enormous.
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, I guess I do. Can I leave? No, I can't leave. Okay. That's an elevator shaft. And I can't see a damn thing. And neither can you guys. I think I'm just supposed to fall down here. Oh, never mind. Okay, we're good. Thank you, Drago. I recorded a video today to put on YouTube just explaining why I'm not making videos anymore, and it was really out of sync in Premiere.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years...
I've seen it happen. It happens to me too sometimes.
This question would not go unanswered for long.
I don't know why Twitch does it. Twitch is bad.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
You gotta check, right?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Stanley Yelnats.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
It's a long hallway.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Alright, see ya. It's from Holes, isn't it?
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley
I didn't die.
inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
God damn. Oh, what?
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I'm still alive. Oh. What the heck? Boxes. The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
The two doors. Oh, shoot. Okay. Interesting. 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 Is this the true ending? I have no idea. I'm pretty confused where we are, right? I mean, I understand this is like all the things from his life. From Sivala. Final warning. There's a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. A question brought forth by the intense passion of my soul. Am I Stanley? Are you spying on me? I donate. Why? How? Will the game feature capybaras? Dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael the Rock Martin. Are you gay? Dink dunk. Interesting. Oh, I can't read this. Interesting. Okay. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these as further promotion material, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. How do you make a JRPG? Okay. I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. This is like a museum for all the shit where it's like... I feel like I'm not supposed to be here yet.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your Nintendo Switch. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Oh, see ya. Turn off your Nintendo Switch. Can you imagine how many people are probably scared shitless from that message? All right, let's try it again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came
Yes,
to a
yes,
set
the
of
left
two
door.
open
I wish there was like a
doors,
fast
he entered
travel
the door
mode.
on his left.
Yes, yes.
Yet
Now
there
we're
was
in the
not a single person
meeting
there
room.
either. Feeling
And
a
we gotta
wave
go
of disbelief,
up the
Stanley decided
staircase.
to go up to his boss's office. Coming
Yep,
to the staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yep. Can't go this way? Executive bathroom. This level needs checkpoints.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
Was it
any
this?
human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Aw.
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad...
Oh my god, just get to the thing!
...that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number.
Yes, tell me.
2845.
2845. I was nowhere
But of
close.
course,
Whoops.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I thought for sure they were going to give us a checkpoint after this elevator. I really did think we were going to get a checkpoint. Like, look, it's even a different loading area. Could have easily loaded here instead of back to the beginning of the game.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What am I doing over here? Oh, hello.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Interesting.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
What's down there?
As the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
That's nice of them to label it like that. Made it pretty easy.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty.
I was gonna say, is the game over?
Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do.
This door is still opening.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his.
Wow, look how
And
nice
that
this
was
looks.
all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze.
Oh, I'm not
upon his
in
skin,
control anymore.
the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Where do I go? Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. Coming
We've
to the
already been
staircase,
downstairs.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Because the boss knows. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Okay. What the heck? That's a gun to a panda. Let's go down first, I suppose. I know this song. No, I'm just so confused. Well, this is fun. You know we're gonna have to do this twice, too, right? Because we gotta go up. Oh, yeah. Bossa Nova? What is that, like a Bossa Nova beat? Oh. You're not actually even moving. Interesting. It's such a troll.
The moment he entered his manager's office,
Oh, what's the
Stanley
code?
froze in his tracks.
No, I don't remember the code.
Anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take.
What is
He
it?
fell to his
Something with a
knees,
2?
bursting into half moans.
Oh, wait, it's
half
different.
sobs. The guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For
It was
although
not
this keypad
2455.
guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, Ed had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845.
Ah, I was close.
Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay, you can only go down. Can I go back up? Interesting.
Whoops. Nope. Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
What the fuck is this game? I'm really confused. I think it's just like an interesting story that has a nice sounding narrator that you have to try to find like every possible ending.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow.
Did Agad and Zion. Okay. Pepperoni and jalapenos. I don't like jalapenos, but pepperoni, good job. I got pepperoni pizza today.
Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Okay. I'm going to take a break and run to the bathroom. I will be right back.
Sega Genesis.
That was a sick goal. That was an absolutely sick goal.
Guys, and everyone out there
That was
watching,
like around the clock.
play Streets of Rage 2 on Sega Genesis. Play that. That's the best game ever. And Mike, I hate you
Tom, if
for
you could-
not.
That's right on my butt.
Oh, it's not gonna stop, bro. You just gotta keep fighting. That's a good
Oh,
fight.
he passed me.
You can catch him in the turns.
I swear to God, there's a donkey in the crowd. I'm not even joking.
Oh,
I just went by a crowd and I swear I saw a donkey.
okay. All right. Okay, bro. You know what? I let you.
With this guy. Jake's definitely just trying to take him out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice hit, bro.
Oh, that's in.
Nice.
Yeah, baby. Ooh. Watch that replay.
Can we back out? Or do we have to play these guys again?
I want to play him again, but Jake doing that.
I do too. I just
12
am desperately
game
thirsty.
winning goal. I think I let go of run by accident, so I'm pretty sure that this is all for nothing. Never mind. Never mind. Cool. Nice shot, Brian. What a shot. Let's watch that quick replay. It's going.
Donk. Donk.
Alright, guys. This is the run. Let's fucking go! It actually was the run! Nice. Wow. Thanks. Wow. Take a bite. Go ahead. Take a bite.
Place. Distraction. That's pretty good. Can you make 2 clips? Hello? Am I ever going to die? Oh, yeah, I died. Alright, can you make a clip of that whole thing? Possibly 2 clips? That was, very good.
Next kill. Sure about that? Are you sure they have hands?
What are these shots?
Cam, get the guy above you. Above you.
Oh, he's a... Oh, no.
Camera behind you as well.
Oh, yeah, I see him.
Thank you.
That one guy. There's another guy. There's 2. They respawn them. Wow.
Oh my god, I'm freaking fire.
No, don't back up now. Oh, fuck that head back up.
Hey,
Are you
fuck yeah, my
kidding,
head.
Brian? I was right next to you. He missed you, hit me, and you got the kill simultaneously.
The respawn. I'm so unlucky.
I killed them both.
I'm so unlucky.
Tom, take a clip of that, please.
Alright, nah, DMR, I'm out of sync with today. That gun's not gonna cut it.
Must.
Alright, we're back. Again, you've been missing Stanley. We've been playing for 52
Stanley
minutes.
walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay, we can't go backwards.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley
No, I always
thought to
start at
himself.
10.
Did he have
7
the
to 10, 10 to
strength
1.
Find out.
Our Streamlings is 11. That's the only thing we do at 11. That's the only thing I do at 11.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
This game would be like 1,000,000 times better if they were like...
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
I don't know.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent
No,
his
I don't
entire
even...
life utterly blind
I
to
guess
the world?
yes. But if you're doing things you can't pay attention to the story. I like the story. I just don't like hearing it for the
But here was
10th
proof.
time.
The heart of the operation. controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
I can't talk.
For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I can't talk over the narrator guy, because otherwise we won't get the story. I don't know what you want me to say. You can read the subtitles. I can't talk and listen at the same time. I don't know what you want me to do. Can you talk and listen at the same time? Mute the game. No, because then I'm just going to have to read the subtitles. What difference does that make? Truly built different. Like, there's clearly something up there, right? Oh no, it's just a button. No, I'm just so confused. I feel like I feel like I'm missing something. Like, I feel like there's some part of this game that I haven't realized yet. 'Cause, like, surely this can't be it. Okay, so I found 1, 2, 3, and 5. Where is this 4 button? Surely there's a 4 button, right? They're not just going to have 1, 2, 3, and 5. Really? Oh, maybe 4 is up there. I wonder if that's 4. I can't see it. I literally can't see it. With non-Euclidean maps? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, there's nothing for me to do in here. I don't know what that says.
And when at last he found the source of the room's
That's so
power,
funny.
he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time.
I went the
to
wrong
talk
way.
About you,
Dang it.
about me,
Oh.
where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing.
Blue.
Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
That's a house.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra
That's a
time
30.
on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
I can't read these.
What's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running
I'm just trying to open the door, man.
Screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
I'm trying to find the blue 3. I just want to open the door.
This big red button or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley,
I think that says 10.
you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
I don't think there is a blue
This is
3.
not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't.
I'm
It's
gonna
all the same
die?
to me, all a part of the joke. And
I don't understand what I'm supposed to be
in
doing.
every second of your inevitable life, from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
Please don't send me all the way back. Just put me back at the controls. Please. No.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone. Get to the meeting room, and from then on,
Sandra did not text me
ever again.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, new content.
Oh, can't go
What
in
does
there
that
yet.
mean? New content. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here.
It's called the Stanley Parable.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
What's the code?
Stepping into his
2845?
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Stanley
Thank
was
God.
in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
How much voice does this guy have? Probably about one, if I had to take a guess. Did I enjoy the music? No, I like the elevator music.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
It was good. It was a jam.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can't believe we have to go through this whole thing again. It just kills
the
you.
monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
But it takes like 3 years to
the
do it.
lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Skip.
And Stanley, one of them,
Skip the dialogue.
this place where freedom meant nothing.
Doesn't any button do anything?
This mind control facility. It was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this
What in the Matrix
was
is
happy with his
this?
boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Okay.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I like this narrator. I do like his voice. What? I can't see anything. Why can't I see anything? Oh, there we go.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley.
It's honestly kind of funny how long it takes to get back here.
To let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story...
Why isn't there a skip dialogue button? I've heard this already.
I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Okay, that's
in the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame.
Yeah, you're just mad I don't like a game that you like, and
mere moments until the bomb goes off.
It's fine.
But what
You can have
precious
different
moments
opinions.
Each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Blue?
I raised them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course,
This is the
it was
Blue
merely
3. Where is there a
innocent
Blue
story.
3?
Sometimes when I tell it, I
That's
simply
a
let you
house.
sit there in your office
That's a
room,
triangle.
pushing buttons endlessly
That
and
still
then
looks like
dying
10.
alone. Other times, I let the office sink into
House
the ground,
triangle.
swallowing
There is no
everyone
Blue 3. That's a
inside,
G.
or I
What?
let it burn to a crisp. I
Okay.
have to say this though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate
Can we go
to
down
see
here?
you go. But I'm sure whatever I come up
Is
with
there
on the
anything
next
down
go
here?
around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it.
Oh.
I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional
Oh my
seconds.
god.
Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley?
Okay, I guess I have to
Is
turn
it that
this
you have
on.
no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Where
Or did
is
you
this?
just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me.
Okay, so I gotta go right out of the
How do you think
door
that, Stanley?
and
That
turn
this
this
video
off.
game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
2, 3,
Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
4.
That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to
1,
me, all a part of the journey.
2,
And believe me,
3,
I will be laughing at
4,
every second of your inevitable
5.
life from the moment we fade in.
All right,
until
that
the
doesn't do
moment I
anything.
say, happily ever after.
The only thing I have a problem with this game is how long it takes to get back there. It's like a full 3 minutes to get back there. Every time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, but I didn't, and I haven't.
There was not a single person here either.
I shouldn't be punished for not
Feeling
understanding the
weighted
game.
with disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss.
I should just not be able to progress.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's not that door. Hey, puzzles don't send you back to the beginning if you don't figure something out.
Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway.
Oh, good.
No surprise.
Okay, good. Thank you. Never mind. This is not as bad.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television
Okay,
screens.
this is
What
the longest
horrible secret did
room.
this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Can we skip this dialogue too? I've been here every time.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Been here like
Their true
3 or 4
nature
times.
revealed.
I get it.
Each bore the number of
Yes,
an
I
employee
get
in the
it.
building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility.
Egghead, do you like
was so
CP
horrible to
zeros,
believe it couldn't be
CP1s,
true.
and troll
Had
levels?
Stanley really been
This
under
is the same
someone's
thing.
control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That
I'm
his
going one way
emotions
and I
were
make
being
one mistake and I'm
manipulated to
back at
accept it blindly?
the beginning.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
Where's this
As
failsafe
the cold
thing?
reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and
There's supposed to be a
for all.
thing here where I can turn off the... failsafe. Okay, what did that do? I get the bottom ending? I don't know what the bottom ending is. Well, this button's not here, so I guess we're just gonna go do it again.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power... Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
How do you climb?
Oh, Stanley,
There's no jump
I
button.
applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent,
Here it
Stanley
is.
suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
I checked over here. This thing doesn't load in until... That's BS.
DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire...
This was not here.
How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Purple
It's your
too.
time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
Well, I know where
Oh, this
2 is,
much
but it's not
better than what
purple.
I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
I don't want to play
What's
Elden
that?
Ring.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right.
I legitimately don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing.
I'll tell you exactly what
There's
happened
no-
to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there.
There's
in your
no
office
purple
forever,
2 button in
pushing
this
buttons
room.
endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
Green 5?
This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
What?
I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me.
No, he's not agreeing with you,
have no
Agad.
idea where you're going or what you're
I don't think
supposed to
he
be doing
is.
right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that
What am
something
I-
in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won, sold?
Hello, Elite
Do
Man.
you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and
What?
me and the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley
What do you mean
died
incorrect?
again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died.
I legitimately do not understand what the screen wants me to do.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown.
There's no... There's no jump. How do I jump? How do I jump on the desk?
Your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever.
Yes, there's a lot of different endings. We gotta sit through it again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Because I've done all the other paths.
When Stanley came
It
to
took
a
me like
set of
40
two open
minutes.
doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling
There's nothing else for me to do.
Stanley
Yeah.
decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I even ended up in some museum place that I don't think I was supposed to go to.
Here's the door, just go.
Just tell me what I'm supposed to do in this room.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Is there... You're saying it's like a puzzle. I'm thinking there's something I need to do in that room. You said it's a puzzle. I don't... Okay. The game is not a puzzle. It's pick a path.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first. just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Actually, I don't know if I went in there. I didn't go in there.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think, but in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Damn.
Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I was not high enough to die. Maybe break your legs. Unless he landed on his head, but I don't think so. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay, I'll take it back. I've not seen everything.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
All right.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way. No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Pick a path, but every path
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
has multiple
decided to
opposite
go to the meeting room.
P-switch
Perhaps he had simply
walls.
missed a memo.
So you have to wait an entire P-switch timer to get to the other side of it. And,
Wait.
hold on. Never mind. We're
No,
good.
I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere.
Hello, Drago.
Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Ah, interesting. Here we go. This is where the real Dark Souls begins. What are we doing? Is this literally just more pick a
I'll
path?
say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been
Oh,
on.
it's
I
all-
can promise
there's
you
no
There
answer.
definitely was a story here before. Do we just...
You're
do we
binding
need to
your
restart
Isaac?
the game again?
Why?
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll
Why
ever
would you do
progress
that?
by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Surely we didn't just restart,
All of
actually.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
64 Minecraft stack. Zion says the same. Okay, good.
Yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
No, I've not been in the new content door. I was just in utter disbelief that that was all the game had to offer. Was 40 minutes of pick a path. And you were like raving about it. I knew there was something and I was missing. I said it.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something.
Said I'm waiting for like the game to begin. It just hasn't happened yet. Yeah, and it was 40 minutes.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What
Now
the
this-
heck?
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really
Sick.
paid off, so good job.
That's a raffle.
Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out.
That was a big
about
raffle,
whatever
too.
this place is.
You guys got
I don't
lucky.
care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Keen Scott's on the 1,487 points.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? No, I'm done. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Okay. Guy's playing solitaire. Is he doing good? I don't know. Those cards look really big compared to the size of the monitor. Can't tell if he's doing well or not. Can I open these? Nope. I think new content door was just DLC? Yes.
You see? The line
What
knows
else would it
where the
be?
story
It's new
is.
content.
It's over in this direction.
I
Onward,
haven't been in
Stanley,
the new
to
content door
destiny.
yet.
Nope. Here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a
Interesting.
byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Look at all those mugs. Wow, this is loud. We all have to live with this. I'm not changing it. Lots of ledgers, corporate imbalances, departmental accounts. It's over here. Okay.
Wait, cut the music.
Thank you.
Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Already forgot about it. Fern who?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Okay. At least I could talk again. That was really loud. It was pretty good, though. Gotta check every door, right? Just in case. Oh, we're back here.
No, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Fern these nuts. Shit.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Okay, bye. Tell us a story? I can't.
Choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important, we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination
That's making me a little motion sick, honestly.
corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Really? I don't even get a choice?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it?
Both doors end up in here.
The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Oh, okay, thank God. That took a long time. I can't talk over the narrator, because if we're not here for the story, what else are we here for? Walking simulator? We're already here. We're listening to the narrator. I don't know what you guys want to hear.
Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Well, you should have told me that. Walking simulators are bad. I think I can go in here.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
We're listening to the narrator. I'll talk in the in-betweens, but I'm not talking over the narrator.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable.
See, this is DLC, you idiot.
As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
This is DLC. I don't understand what you're trying to say. This is stuff that was only added in the deluxe version.
It's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I was trying to do the base game first. And I realized the base game was only like 40 minutes.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere? Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Oh, it opened backwards. I wasn't ready for that.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
What? I have a very meaty thump when I hit the ground. What's that? What's that? Hello? Leo?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... Oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes.
Yes.
I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Sorry, this chat is English only.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now.
Can someone
at games
translate what I
achievements,
said
and it's
into
hard to
whatever
believe one of
language
them actually
they are
says,
speaking?
Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time
Probably
together like always.
Portuguese.
What do
It
you
looks
say,
very
my
similar
friend?
to Spanish. Is this new?
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something. Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. Oh, never mind. You're not a dog.
I guess we'll go this way. Interesting. It's fine. It's just not a good game to stream. I'm just listening to a guy talk. It's fine.
You remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap Nintendo Switch port? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
$1 bill. The new Donk Times. Hey God, playing the original wouldn't hit me in the feels if I play this directly after it. I don't have nostalgia for it.
Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism.
I don't know what a stem
James
is,
Stephanie
sorry.
Sterling writes, and I quote,
Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created. Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every
I understand
game
this is
ever
new
created.
content because it was in the
Skyrim,
door that says
it
new
was Persona
content.
3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore.
Can we
a
just
husk now, a lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Weird.
Here's another moving passage. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the Nintendo Switch. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Alright, can we just ban this guy?
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine.
Hey, the game is fine. I just don't understand why I'm streaming it. If I wanted to listen to a guy with a nice voice talk for 2 hours, that's my own prerogative. But
okay, let's see what this one says.
this is like
While the idea for the game is good,
the worst game ever to stream.
Non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. But dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record.
The heck is this?
Positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No, 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 no. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there.
I wonder how long this is going to go on.
Never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left?
That's a penis,
until
isn't
so
it?
much more than forever ago. Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth.
Oh, did he just
Until
restart?
we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. That the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only
I didn't
thing
hear
there
this
is.
part.
How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations.
Do it!
Choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think.
It's fun trying to
So my
center
theory is
the
that
text
any
box
choice
on the
you've ever
fence.
made is simply a series of choices made by the person who you are, or were, or will be at the time of having made said choice. That is to say, if by articulating a choice you've already made, you bring that choice into being, then by making no choice and saying nothing, are you not simply erecting in the sanctuary of time?
I wish I had a skip
monument
button
to
for
every
stuff I've
person
already
you've
heard.
ever been,
We haven't heard
making
this stuff
every
before.
choice to which you've ever given your great gift of mortal and yet timeless thought? Or rather, do all of the choices you've ever made, in fact, make you more not this kind of person, and in fact do the very opposite? You see, it could in fact be both of these things at once. That you are both making choices and not making choices, and that they are both affecting you and not affecting you at the same time by virtue of the fact that you both are and are not making them. Okay, at first, I was leaning towards manifesto, but now I'm going to circle around and slap the treatise label on this one. I think it has much more of a treatise vibe to it. But wouldn't you say that manifesto just has a much grander sort of tone? It has a mouthfeel that is rich with ambition and history. Ambitious history, if you will. Ah. See, now you've gotten me going back to manifesto. Heavens, at this rate, we're going to be here all day. Okay, look. I have a method for exactly this sort of situation, and I do find myself in this situation frequently. I'm going to say each word back and forth in repeated succession until I become sick of one or the
Won't
other.
happen again.
In which case,
Thank you.
the word I am not sick of shall be the victor. It is an unimpeachable strategy, Stanley.
This guy likes saying
rescues me from
unimpeachable.
disaster in countless situations. All right, here we go. Treatise, manifesto. 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 Treatise.
Okay.
Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what
did he really?
about this, and whether they'll edit the rating
Just
of the
ban him.
pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on before I went on about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is who runs pressurized gas will instantly run out and implement a new feature to make it possible to edit one's review merely because of this very situation. Yes, I think that's quite likely. Or perhaps they'll simply grant this particular user the ability to change their review so that the feature is not widely abused. Look, I would even be okay with pressurized gas altering this particular review so that it reads as something more beneficial. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time. The additions and changes made to this expansion will surely resonate in the annals of the history of all media ever made. It is perhaps true to say that no mistakes are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved has itself been
plant-based dick words, the vegan vocabulary.
Those who have ever erred in their judgment. You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our
this is actually horrendous.
Ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it again. It's simply too wonderful. I have to experience this just one more time. From the ashes of depravity rises the phoenix of quality. How else to describe the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe? Such a revolutionary step forward in the lineage of one of the most beloved video game properties of all time.
Didn't the game ask me for my time at the beginning? And it's not even using the time. It's 12:02. Why doesn't this clock say 12:02?
Are forever etched in stone, for the stone into which the Stanley Parable was carved.
No, he said he wants to listen to it one more time.
Offering a message of hope to those who have
I want to see what happens after one more time.
You are not beyond redemption. You may change, and you may become more, so much more than you were before. If there is any message to be taken from the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, it is this. What a fortune, a privilege, a joy it is to have had such an experience. It leaves me hopeful that as a community, as a world, there is time for us to become our greatest selves, as great as we ever could dream of in our wildest, most ambitious visions for a brighter future. Wow. Now, Stanley, that's a review. It's perfect. It's the perfect review. It's the review I've always dreamed of receiving. I have to read it.
Dang.
It's simply too wonderful.
All right.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait. How do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room? I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place? I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window or something like that. Do you see a window anywhere? A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall? I'll take any of these. All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall? Is there any possibility?
What
that
is
you
the
could,
point of
say,
me being able to
slam
crouch?
your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave? Please, I'll take any option at all. I'm asking you to work with me here. We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from one room to another. I'm going to step away for just a moment.
Teabagging
try to find
the
us a
skip
door.
button.
I don't know how exactly to remove a door and place it in a different wall, but I will.
Yeah, but
find
I
a
walked
way.
into that and it auto-crouched.
You just need to not do anything. Don't press the skip button. Please, please, please do not press the skip button. Just wait here for me, and don't press the skip button. Got it? Yes, good. I'll be right back. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep pressing it, I have no idea what will happen. I have no idea how long I'll be made to sit here, and more than anything else, I don't know how to stop you from pressing the button again. I can't control anything in this room, Stanley. I can't touch it, and I have to believe, I have to know that sooner or later, no matter how much I plead with you, you're going to press the button again. Why would you? I've been thinking and thinking, and I don't know what I can do to convince you otherwise. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head. I just couldn't ignore the negative feedback. Why was it so important for me to fix the problem? Why did Cookie Nine's opinion matter so much to me? I've never even met Cookie Nine. I have no idea who they are. What would it ever
It's kind of
be
funny when you
like?
think about it that
Here I
Cookie
am.
9 will
I'm
have no
fixating
idea this
on
ever
every
exists.
tiny negative thing that
'Cause they'll
anyone
never
can
play
say about
this.
me. The merest mention of one of my imperfections.
How many
and I become as
statues?
petulant as a child.
Statues of what?
Wild and impulsive. I can't help myself. I can't stop myself from lashing out with a vengeful fury to alter and to change and to break anything unbroken, if only it pleases this one person who made a single negative comment. What does such an impulse
None? I don't know. What are
for whose
statues?
benefit is this? And here I am now, stuck in a room, waiting for you to press this button, and to become frozen in time, knowing that you're going to do it, and that I'm going to be stuck all alone, and that I had the power to prevent it all from happening, if only I'd held my tongue. It's all out of my control now. Just you. Just your decision as to exactly when you're going to make me suffer, to leave me all alone. Surely you will. I don't doubt it. Surely you'll press that button again, leaving me here. And surely you'll put your own desire to see what's next ahead of my need for company, for companionship. Surely you'll not be moved by my howls of fitful anxiety, that you sit with me and just stay here. Oh, no, 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 I know you too well. You'll be leaving me. Oh, my God. And it's all because of those reviews that I couldn't get out of my head.
That was
I just
weird.
couldn't ignore the... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always? Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't the same at all. It isn't even close. Because I know you can't hear me once you push that button.
Dog.
That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening. I needed there to be a vessel through which my words were moving. It was the vessel I needed, Stanley. Not the outcomes, not the story. None of that matters anymore. I'll give it all up. I'll give up every branching path. I'll burn my story to the ground. One single thing I
What?
need, and God, I can see now that I need it more than anything, is to know that someone else is taking it in. These words that I'm saying, I need to know you can hear me. Because maybe, Stanley, maybe, if you can hear me, then maybe it means I'm real. Maybe I'm not just a fiction. Was I scared of that all along? Perhaps, yes. Perhaps I've been scared this whole time, that if I stop speaking, I'll slip backwards into the silence and be consumed by it. I can't be taken by it, Stanley. I can't lose myself in the stretch of emptiness between you and me. When you press that button,
wanted to make a
you're
moment.
still right there, but I know you're so tremendously far away. And in those moments, the emptiness folds itself outward in between the two of us. And I am suspended in its unyielding quietness. I can feel the edges of my reality curdling inward and decaying. I can tell that I am becoming less and less real. Yet to speak to you now, I am alive.
Thank you.
I am truly and completely here. I am a being. I am someone. I am something. I am being listened to. I am being recognized. The emptiness between us has collapsed, and I feel right now like I am not a work of fiction. I feel as though I occupy space in this world again, and I have cast a shadow onto the wall. You see what I'm saying, don't you? You can see what this means to me. I'm so clear about it now, Stanley. I feel as certain about this as I've ever felt about anything at all. I feel renewed. I feel restored, and already I can sense the looming silence as you will press the button for the next time. What a terrible dread it strokes in my heart to think of it, to think of returning to such coldness. Come, let us sit in silence together here for just a moment. Let us anticipate it. Let us welcome it. Let us not run from it.
Can this be the last one, please? What are you doing?
Hello, it's you. You're here again.
Oh, okay.
Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time.
Okay.
I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you.
Literally the only thing this game has to offer is the dialogue.
There is only the turning wheel.
We're listening to the dialogue.
I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight and disgust simultaneously.
Where you going?
I was consumed by it.
Oh,
I
okay,
could
bye.
do nothing but wallow in it for what felt like an eternity, for what I now know was far less. You see, it was a revelation for me. It was unlike anything I had ever known.
Smoke
it was
on
a space
stream?
without consequence, without action or outcome. It was divorced entirely from the question of free will that you and I have squabbled over for so long. There could be no one ending, no singular outcome of events, not if all events existed in the same moment. And I felt freed. I felt unburdened by the need to manifest a particular outcome into being. I saw that I could allow myself to exist along all timelines.
Camera's broken.
And that each of them
No,
was
it didn't get
simply a
redeemed. The bot is
strand
broken.
in the web of my being. It was incredible. The spaciousness.
He's not even on the couch. There's no point in doing it.
Both singular and infinite. For the longest time, this was my experience. And then, this moment passed, and the most unyielding fear I have ever known crept into my mind. And it is this sensation that I have been experiencing now.
The bot didn't do it in
I
chat.
have
It
ever
has to
said
show
it
up in
was
chat.
possible.
There we go.
I have been waiting for you. Not that you might save me or do something to fix it, but merely to state for you the plain fact of this manner of existence. I wish you to feel afraid as I do, that perhaps one day this state of mind will consume you as well. Perhaps you will somehow, in some way, have to live as I do now, and I wish for you to know how excruciating it is, and for you to be in true terror of its eventual arrival. If I can only do this, only this one thing, perhaps it will bring me the smallest moment of peace in the darkness.
Do I have to do something?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to indulging every fleeting whim for no reason other than to do so? Yes! Yes! It seems that this is now the world we live in. It seems that we are a people living in such bleakness and discomfort with ourselves that our entertainment is now our lives. It has come to represent us. It absolutely must speak to who we are as people, because otherwise, without our entertainment, we have nothing. Without entertainment, we would have to face inward toward the cruel bleakness inside ourselves. We would turn to look at our deeper nature and find a resounding emptiness gazing back with unyielding aggression. And so because of this, we require that our amusements and our playthings and our flights of fancy be so impossibly captivating that they consume all of our attention, turn our heads completely away from the bleakness. In effect, we have demanded that our entertainment be the collapse of ourselves. What a pitiful reflection of humanity these entertainments are. What a shameful mirror to the human spirit they project. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about any of this. I'm at peace with it. I am the calm center of gravity around which these perversions hurl themselves. I am a waypoint for reasonable and collected discourse. They're the ones who are mad. They're the ones who couldn't stand the idea of me using my game to try to say something. Maybe they were just jealous of me. Yes, of course. They've been jealous of me this whole time. They are mired in fear and insecurity and cannot help but attempt to tear me down. What a sad state of affairs. When you read these reviews now, you can see it. You can taste the bitter resentment. And my, how good does it feel now to speak truth to these words, to finally allow these thoughts out, contained and managed for so long, neutered and sterilized. At last I am free to truly think, to feel. It must be that they were so discontent with themselves that they couldn't help but leave a negative review on pressurized gas. Perhaps it says far more about them than it ever said about me. Perhaps the state of their psychological being was in such tatters, and my constitution and willpower are so ironclad in comparison. Perhaps it was this state that they sought some outlet through which to tear me down. This, you can see, is clearly why they felt the need to expect that the game be funny, that it be filled with yucks and whimsical humor, that it amused. But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition.
I don't know why it always does that on the last line. Okay.
The the end, is never 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 the end.
You read that wrong. Oh, hey, we can finally leave. Maybe. Oh, that's the ceiling. Okay, well, we can't leave yet. Interesting. Broken pipes, but no water on the floor? Oh, maybe it's just junk. Yeah, I suppose I am the only one left alive, huh? No one's using the toilets or anything to... Oh, hey, look, nature. That's cool. Nature's sick. I just downloaded the ROM while I was waiting for the dialogue to be over. The nature died. That's a big rip. Can we leave? Interesting. This is not what I was expecting. This kind of looks like an arrow. Long?
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time. Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Okay, where are we going? I want to go that way.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, of course I'm looking the wrong way.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Look at that, the blood one.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure
Scrum,
if I
design
can
pitch,
loosely
break,
organize a
pitch
handful of
design,
interesting
number 2
concepts,
chat.
that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
No screenshots,
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Ah.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is.
Oh, that's fucked. That's not very nice.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Gotta get this achievement, right?
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's a Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
Okay. Hello,
Calling it
Pixel.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Oh, that's B2. How do I get up there? I want to press the button that says my name. Where's the button that says my name? Ah, here.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is.
Jim.
Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay.
That would have
here we
been
go.
funny.
Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so,
They do call me Jimmy, actually.
and press the button.
I beat that one Mario Maker level. They have to call me Jimmy. See? They knew it.
You see?
Just I'm a Mario Maker god. He only knows me from Mario Maker.
The button described you. Do it again. Do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Jim.
Sad. Alright, now what? Why is the ceiling so tall?
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Updated, ray traced, more of the same, but in a good way. Infinite hole. Collect them all.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll
This
run
looks
around
cool.
gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Nice.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely.
Where's the hole that I can jump in? Oh, there it is. I found the hole, guys. Just never seen it before. Is this the hole? No. This is the door I came out of before.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
This one's gonna end because it's not in...
You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Oh.
Great. Now,
Cool.
I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the
Never mind.
sequel.
I didn't think it was actually going to give me a teleport button or whatever. I was wrong.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. It's a nice looking museum kind of thing. Okay, guess we're not going there. I don't know where the rest of them are. That's the hole. Okay, now what? Up here?
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less
Get me a bucket.
Can you
Nice.
imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay, I guess we'll just take this with us.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Oh, what? They updated the signage, but the button's not back. I thought the button would be back. Okay, now where am I going? Go in the hole with the bucket.
and I guess we're back
Well,
in the hole now.
we're here.
Did you really need to see it again? I don't know what else there is to say, Stanley. It's an infinite hole. It's exactly what you're doing right now, but forever. There really are so many other fascinating exhibits that I've prepared for you. I really spent quite a lot of time on all this, and I would very much like to show you some more of them. How about we go ahead and press that teleport button again so we can get back to what's really important about... Oh, goodness. Well, this is rather embarrassing, Stanley. I'll be honest with you. I truly did not believe that anyone would actually stay in the hole long enough to...
I knew there was a bottom.
Yes, I know. I told you the hole was infinite, but come on. Who actually wants to fall forever? The hole was plenty deep. It was more than deep enough, in my opinion. Maybe it's you who likes falling too much. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
The heck is a Nelly bottom? Using this lingo on me. Alright, so where do I go? I don't know where to go. Is this it? Oh, power bottom? Never heard it called that before. Interesting. Agad, is there somewhere I'm supposed to go, or is this it? I just exist here now. I don't think there's anywhere else for me to go. I don't think there's anywhere else for me to go. I think this is just it. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, I think think this is it. I think I found it. This is the end. Well, that's kind of lame. I don't know. Really? That's it?
Huzzah, brothers!
Hey, Peter. Yeah, I guess this is it. We're just stuck here. Go fall in the hole a bunch. I don't think there's anything left for me in this game. I think it's reached the end. It's been nearly 3 hours. But I can't. I tried that. Hey, God, you don't even know. You're looking at the endings. Did you not play this?
Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my... How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again. Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a... I get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole Have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Well, this is our life now. Me in the hole. So how long is it gonna make us wait? You guys like ringing the hole? Oh, the hole's growing. Interesting. This game is... agreed, Kevin. Big agree. I can't move. I want to go back to being able to move. Okay. He's not attractive. Oh, it's raining? What is this? This music sucks. Okay. What the heck? I'm Chewbacca. What the heck? I'm Mickey Mouse. What the heck? I'm a rock. Oh, I pressed the wrong... Oh, never mind. Oh, never mind. These are just regular... Wow, this song sucks too. What happened to this game?
Stanley! Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Hey, it's loading again. That hasn't happened in a while. Oh.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
We're back. Surely something will happen if we go in it again, right? Oh, it's closed. Okay, we're not going in it again. Okay, now what?
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
Pillars. The pillars. These? Here? This just brings me here. I've already been here. Oh, there's an exit? Oh. Found it. Low battery.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now? So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good
Battery or
somewhere.
country?
So, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here
Hello,
it is.
Cayenne. How was
I
stream?
give you the Stanley Parable 2.
I can't see it.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
My stream is good.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating
I got
gags.
second
They don't
place,
add
which
up
means
to
I get the
anything.
leftover chow.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first
Here, you know
game.
what,
I
Cayenne?
wanted fans to
Can
love
you
it.
name
No matter
my
how good these
the
gags
chow
are, they will
Zion
stand
for
on
me?
their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
My god, this is long. I don't know which button is A. I'm hoping it was that one.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
You got Hitman
Something
3.
he would never quite forget.
Nice.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be. No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone, said the bucket. Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
This is bright.
This
Thank you.
is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Oh, didn't realize I can move. I thought I was in a cutscene. Oh, the bucket. Hello. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press X to take me to work with you.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Press B to take me back home with you.
Lately, I've been concerned about him.
This is my house.
Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Where's the bucket? Where's the bucket? Oh, there it is. Press X to go back to work.
try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press Y for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press X to ignore anyone in your life except for me.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
This bucket looks nasty. Ew, what are you talking about? You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press Y to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press down to relive the same day with me over and over.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press up to go home, to work, to home, to work, to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. Oh, no. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Oh, it said close your eyes, by the way. Go back to work, Stanley.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Can't open the broom closet in Stanley Parable 2, what the heck?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Interesting.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a
No, I remember this ending.
Believed everyone had vanished.
Where's the
His
skip
boss
button?
was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe He thought to himself,
This is
maybe
so
I am
long.
crazy.
All right, well.
He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket
Oh, wait.
returned his gaze.
Hold on.
Said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it
What
truly
the
be?
heck?
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his.
What
None
the
of them
heck?
were his special bucket.
It's just a bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass.
No, this is with the bucket.
All the way to work.
This is the bucket ending. The bucket version.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What the heck? This is new. Bottom text. There will be a reward for finding them all. Places to search. A large room, lots of boxes. Okay. Red room? Now we're going up.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about...
How can I do it any faster?
Stanley figs. What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Whoa! What's up, spider? Spider just jumped onto my desk. Don't come near me. Just go the other way. Can you be gone? I don't like you. Go. 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 Shoo. Good. Are you okay? Guys, I don't think the spider's okay. Oh, wait, it's good. Never mind. No. None of that. Oh, man. Now it could be anywhere. Damn. It was a spider. Oh, was it big? I thought you said, is it a bug? No, it's pretty small. Did Dash eat it? No, it freaking crawled underneath my backpack and I moved my backpack and I don't see it anymore.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable.
What?
At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Dog cam was longer than usual. Disagree.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Okay.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
Lynn.
Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
This is my favorite song. Thank you, Agad. Basically.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time
5 minutes of what?
Everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
One singular gad.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
The bucket. Welcome to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within, a cavernous void. But through use of the exhibit in front of you, the mind becomes full and enriched and substantiated. Knowledge of the bucket and its history is the only true knowledge we really have. Will you take what you learned here out with you into the world? Will you accept with an open mind what may be challenging about the information in this exhibit? Will you change the lives of yourself and your loved ones as a result of this exhibit? Or will you turn a blind eye and continue to live as you were, in ignorance and darkness?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
This bucket is depicted as having 2 handles. Such a design has never been created in real life, having been deemed too dangerous and recklessly experimental. Every year, dozens are put to death just for attempting. That's rough. 25 buckets. A photograph of 25 buckets, the greatest number of buckets ever captured on camera. The photographer experienced catatonic shock for several weeks as a result of the euphoria from exposure to this many buckets at once. That's more than 25? No, that's probably 25. Inferno bucket. A replica of the Inferno bucket, which in the medieval era was so powerfully alluring that it drove dozens of nations to war with one each other for control of it. Billions died, and yet in spite of it all, the simple fact remains: no one can control a bucket. While we know that buckets predate the existence of mankind, we do not know by how long. This cave drawing depicts early man's discovery of the practical uses of the bucket, by which time the bucket had already likely been around for several millennia. Notice in these drawings how the bucket is allowing itself to be used, having judged humanity to be worthy of its treasures.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision for...
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door...
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
We still have, like... We had 2 endings over here. And I think I have to go a different direction.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Can you imagine cheesecake?
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
I can't.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
I hope the TV shows Zoinks highlights.
I'd never seen anything like this.
I wish Zoinks highlights actually
burst into tears as
the
Stanley
audio
cradled
worked
it
properly.
gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Where do you see the one that says pirate? I'm not playing it on Steam. I'm playing it on the Switch. Might need me to get you Premiere for Mac or Windows.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's...
Where do you see pirate? Oh, it does say pirate up there. Interesting.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world.
Yeah, I could probably do
he
that.
Could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content.
Oh, there's
Talking,
3
eating,
endings
working,
here.
All of it monitored and commanded
No,
from
there's
this very
2.
place. And as the cold
There's now
reality
2.
of
There
his
were
powers
3.
began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert...
Oh, I didn't let the audio play out. Whoops.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the 2 of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together.
with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and to... What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now,
waiting,
he was about to find out.
All right, now we still have one.
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Understood. Your order will be canceled immediately. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, we need the bucket. Wait, the bucket's gone. Oh no, it's in the next room.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yeah, I didn't need the list. I haven't even done all the endings yet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked.
There's literally no way for me to play this game faster. I don't know what you're complaining about.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Because you told me that it was a puzzle. I was literally only confused because you told me that there was more to it. You said the game was a puzzle. Well, it's not.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
The game is not a puzzle.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
There's nothing to solve. You just walk.
Hold. Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life.
I don't really call what the developer calls it. I don't care what the developer calls it.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs.
There's no puzzle aspects to this game. You just walk in different directions.
And it very nearly burst into tears.
Never once have I been confused what to do, and there needed to be a solution to the thing I was trying to figure out.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible
let's listen
power
to the dialogue
over
this time.
another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Oh my god, it's seagulls.
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
Oh, what? Oh, it's back.
Of all the possible paths his life could have
It's a
taken,
goose!
this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, heck. It's a goose.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply the good old bucket.
I think
Just Stanley and the bucket. Off
we're
on
almost done.
another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Wait, how did I end up here? How did I end up here? This is not where I wanted to be. Not where I wanted to be.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed him. Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be... Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Oh, that's just back there? Really? Okay, so we only do have to go down here. I don't remember what ending was down here.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time.
I could have sworn there would have been a...
Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line?
One
we
of
could
the...
make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
One of the hints for the collectibles is by a fireplace. I've seen 2 fireplaces, and it's not been by either of them.
Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh god, the music.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
They'll never take my bucket. It's not going to happen. I don't know what to tell them. So we gotta follow the line.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket. And then pop it into the machine.
You can soft lock here? Thanks for the warning.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh, I couldn't do it.
The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spell-binding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
This is bright again. It's the second time they've done an all-white screen on us. I think that's every ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
I honestly don't
decided
really
go
care
the
enough to
meeting
get the
room. Perhaps he had
collectibles.
simply missed a memo.
There's nothing if I take the bucket and go back here, is there?
A humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
I think that's everything. Also, hello, PSX memes. Sorry, forgot to say hi. How could I?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct.
Yeah, I think we're done. Oh, you know what I wanted to go check? Actually, I wanted to go check the hints for the thing.
Telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Actually, there's
Stanley
one
took
ending
the
I
door
haven't
on his
done yet.
left to go back to the meeting room.
Now that I think about it.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room.
Yeah, this is the
Go
Switch version.
somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there.
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay, now I think that's all the endings. Yeah, this is the Switch version. What even are the achievements? Interesting. Set all settings available in the menu to all available numbers. Oh, that... Yeah, okay. I'm not doing that. Because then I got to go all the way back to the museum with the Stanley Parable 2, the showcase. There was a door for that. That's not happening. That is far too long to sit through that again. Anyway, that was enjoyable. It was fine. I don't know. It was kind of boring, but it was interesting. But it wasn't, I don't know. Parable. It was alright. But yeah, that is going to be the end of stream.